Hey guys, welcome to Tommy Green TV, bringing you the latest in Arsenal footballing news and update. You landed on the channel, you know the drill. Like, share, comment. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Carabao Cup, Liverpool v Arsenal, 0-0 to the Gooners, 0-0. Very, very, very hard game. I'm not going to go too deep into why it was hard because, to be honest, it's now boring now. It's boring every single time us speaking about the same player making the same sort of mistake every single time. I don't know how you've gone from being a footballer to a WWE wrestler. You know who I'm talking about, Granite. You know your name. It even says in your name, Granite. Granite. Do you know what I mean? So 10 men played amazing, like beyond amazing. We went to Liverpool, to Anfield, and we more or less nullified them. I think they had one shot on target. No, they didn't actually. They didn't. We had one shot on target. They didn't. And it took till the 90th minute or so, between the 83rd to the 90th minute, for them to respond properly. Not even respond, to just try and make something out of the fact that they had 10, one extra player. It looked like we came there and, we were playing with 11 men, when in reality, after 20 minutes, we were playing with 10 men. And credit to those boys. It was a case of attack versus defense. And I can tell you right now, Ben White, beast. He went into beast mode, grabbed the game by the scruff of its neck. Ben White was a beast. There was nobody or nothing that could tell me anything because he just turned all the way up and it was just mental. He turned into I think this is his best performance since he's been at the club. And it's shocking for me because he's put in a lot of good performances, but this one, he just took it to a whole new level. It just went crazy. So, I'm proud of those boys. Those 10 boys who played on the pitch, I'm proud of them because they gave the manager a response from the whooping that we got at Nottingham Forest. They not only gave a response, they did it with heart, with soul, with desire. We can't complain, and you have to give the manager credit as well because the moment we went down to 10 men, he just flipped the script. It just became a block. And we've seen this before when we go down to 10 men, even up to this season, when we go down to 10 men, it becomes very hard to play against, very easy, to play against us. And we end up conceding 3, 4, 5, 6 goals or whatever, but we didn't. And like I said, you have to give the manager credit for that because especially when we don't have, our regular players, they more or less came with their first team. The only players that they didn't have was Salah and Mane. They had Firmino, they had Jota. I forgot those two were playing. So you could see how Salah, Mane, you take that away from the side, Liverpool bang on average. But we handled them well. We handled them perfectly. Kudos. I can only clap for these boys because they responded. And no Arsenal fan here can complain because now what that does is give us hope for the second leg when we come to the Emirates. And me personally, I believe we can do the business and make this an all-London kind of finale, in Wembley in February against Chelsea. Once again, kudos to the boys. But just as much as I'm giving kudos to the boys, Granit Xhaka, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because once again, we're here talking about how your stupid behavior influenced the game. How your behavior, whatever it is that you did is now affecting those boys. Now we will miss you for 3 games. We are light in midfield. And you know what? This might end up being a blessing. We might not need to end up going to go and buy a midfielder, because if Ben White performs admirably in midfield, or whoever is placed in that midfield, maybe it's a blessing, and maybe we can move this guy on. Because how many times are we going to sit down here and go, oh, Granit Xhaka got a red card in a big game, another big game, another red card? When does it end? But let's not dwell on that. Let's focus on the positives, and the positives is we are in with a shout to qualify. If I was to rate these players, Ramsdale, I would probably give a 7. I thought he was shaky in one or two moments. Missed the ball when he came to catch the ball, So I thought he was shaky, but he was overall impressive, or he was okay. There wasn't anything bad. We started off with Suarez on the right. He wasn't in the game that much, so we can't really give him a kind of bad score, in that regard. So I would just give him a 5. Ben White, man of the match. Man of the match. Immense today. 10. Man of the match. Easily for me. Man of the match. Yeah. Gabriel bossed it. But there was still one or two shaky moments in there, but he bossed it. So I would give him a 8. Yeah, the defense was solid. All the backline, that backline was solid. I will give Tierney 8 because he was phenomenal as well. There were a couple of times when he popped in one or two balls, and that Xhaka missed when he was at the far end. Xhaka missed. He literally controlled it, but he miscontrolled it, and then couldn't stick it in past Alisson. So he did well. And when he had to go forward and put in some good balls, he did. So I would give him an 8. Go to the midfield. I thought Lokonga played excellent. I thought he played really well. None of the mistakes he made when he was, none of the mistakes he made against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. I thought he was good. He was decent. I'd give him a 7. I'll give him especially when Xhaka came off. I'll give him an 8, to be honest, because that really impacted the game. He had to take control of that midfield, and he did. For a 20-year-old, he did. Granit Xhaka, I give you a 0. Let's just move on from that. To the left, Martinelli. Oh my God, this boy ran his socks off. Still one or two areas where I think decision making could be better, but he ran his socks off. I'm giving him a good 7. Bukayo Saka, the same thing, ran their socks off. He created opportunities. I would give him 8 because I think he was the better of the two between him and Martinelli on the wings. Lacazette, I would give a 7 as well. Leadership quality. You could see him shouting, screaming. What are you doing? There were times when Ramsdale kicked the ball down and he was like, we're 10 men down. Why are you kicking the ball down? Can't you not just spray, across the back line? Keep the ball. We're 10 men down. Why are you spraying the ball? Leadership qualities. Leadership, shouting on the pitch, talking, communicating on the pitch, not just leading by example. But at the end of the day, you still want your strikers to score goals. And I think maybe that aspect of his game is not really how it once was, but it's still beneficial for the rest of the team. The way he is right now. For me, he was immense. He was immense in the leadership side of things, in holding the ball up, and in just the pressing mode as well. So I would give him a 7. Who came on? Chambers came on. He did all right. He did okay. I would give him a 7 when he came on. Who else came on? Tavares came on as well. Didn't have a lot of time, so just a 5. Who else came on? Can't remember, but everyone that came on that did well, they did admirably well. Arteta, I would give a 9. You can't. Yeah, a 9. He did the business. He's changed it up. He switched it up. Frustrated Liverpool. We can't complain. So now we move on to Sheffield, to Spurs, and let's go and whoop that ass. You know the drill. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get it.